flat on your head, it's got to be almost level with your eyebrows, I think.
That's nonsense. I don't think you know what you're talking about. If you have an opinion on hats, if you know about hats, check out the webcam, let me know. But really, these people do not know what they're talking about, and it actually sickens and annoys me.
Text us on 64046 or email stephen.sixmusic@bbc.co.uk.
Harry, let's have your musical choice while we discuss this hat thing further.
Oh yeah, my choice this week, I've got to be honest, I know very little about this artist. I could have Wikipedia'd him, come up with a whole load of spiel that might not even be true, but I'm not going to kid people. I genuinely know nothing about him. I picked up this track on a compilation, and I picked it for Father's Day because it mentions QPR supporters, of which me and my dad are too. This is Bevis Frond with Waving.
Harry's musical choice on this week's Steve Show. What was it, Harry?
That was Waving by the Bevis Frond, and if anyone knows where to start albums-wise with the Bevis Frond, please email in, let me know.
Thank you very much indeed. Okay, well, I'll go to this little trail here. I don't want to dwell too long on the hat because we talked about it so much in the past. I'm just going to pop it on again quickly. And we've just printed off some pictures. We've found one of Justin Timberlake wearing a hat, and he's wearing it almost exactly like me. In fact, he's got a very small brim, much like my previous hat. So I don't know where you stand.
The problem is with that image, Justin Timberlake is a gorgeous man, but he does not look good in that hat. No. I don't care if it's the fashion. You don't just do it because it's fashionable. It's got to suit you.
Of course you do it because it's fashionable.
But isn't Timberlake quite a short fella as well? So he's needing the hat to kind of big himself up a bit, whereas you don't need anything on top of
and it's more bucket than trilby. It's a kind of bucket trilby.
I wish you people would stop speaking like you know about fashion. Look at you. Look at you all now.
I think I do pretty good, Steve.
I rest my case. Put the hat on, Rufus. You seem to think that it works perfectly. It's slipping down over your ears.
It's almost the right size for me.
It's not. It's too big.
That looks a lot better.
That looks really good.
It's too big. It's too big. That's not how you were wearing it before. You were pulling it down under your head.
That's
shut up.
Culture is stuff that people can waffle on.
That's the cracking current single from Paul Weller, Echoes Round the Sun, co-written, of course, with Noel Gallagher. So we've had listener choices in the past, and they've always been excellent. And so, although my gang here each week recommends tunes, you, the listeners, can get in touch as well and recommend songs to me. And someone who's about to do that for us now is Andy. Is this the right button to press?
Yep.
Andy, can you hear me?
Hello.
Hello, mate. All right. You're a little bit quiet. Let's just press some buttons. We'll sort that out. Don't worry. It's all fine.
Sure.
So, listen, we don't know much about you. I'm going to open up the floor to my team here. We're going to ask you a series of rapid-fire questions to get to know you a little bit better. We've got a short amount of time. You know, we've got to keep things snappy in the MTV world. So, I'm going to ask you a few straight away. Go. Name.
Andy.
Age.
22.
Where called from?
Gloucester.
Job.
Admin.
Colour of favourite suit.
Colour?
What's the colour of your favourite suit?
Grey.
Okay.
Single?
Yes.
Favourite zoo?
Probably Bristol.
How long a Steve Show listener?
About 18 months.
Okay.
Have you ever considered keeping bees?
Too much effort.
Good answer.
Is there a God?
Maybe.
Maybe. Sitting on the fence there.
Okay.
Why say no and face the wrath of the God that may or may not exist? Brilliant. We've got to know you a little bit better. I think your this could turn into quite a TV show.
Yeah.
We can just wheel people on from the audience. It'd be like, what was it? Barrymore's My Kind of People. Oh, you mustn't mention his name anymore. Oh, sorry about that. Sorry to have offended you there, Andy.
No, it's quite alright.
So yes. So you work in admin.
Yep.
Do you administer anything interestingly?
No, it's insurance. So
Insurance.
No.
And you are presumably a big new music fan.
I'm afraid so.
Yeah. Would you say that you're a sort of music nerd?
Very much so. When it comes to like electronic stuff, I get a bit into it and a bit carried away. I feel quite strongly about things. So yeah, I'm a complete geek.
Are you sort of one of those people who perhaps you know exactly what you like and you're slightly dismissive of everyone else's taste?
To be completely honest, yes.
You sound like a Six Music listener to me. And so, what musical choice have you made for us? Because there'll be people judging you right now on this selection.
Sure. Right. I hope it's not too un-Six Music friendly, but it's The Crystal Cat by Dan Deacon. He's a bit of an eccentric fellow. I came across him by accident a few months ago, and it's one of the weirdest things I've heard in quite a while. But it's completely unpretentious, good fun, and something a bit different.
You've sold it to me. I'm very intrigued to find out what it's like.
Sure.
Stay there. We'll have a series of other final questions for you after Dan
All right,
Deacon.
nice one.
That's Dan Deacon and the Crystal Cat, the choice of one of our listeners. Andy, you're still there?
Hello.
Hello, mate. I'd say that's a cracking tune, but the fact that you work in administration in an insurance company, I mean, what are the other people at Direct Line, what is their view of wherever it is you work? What they must think that's pretty wild stuff coming out of your headphones.
Well, I guess so.
You don't care. You think sod it, you know, if they can't get with the electronica, screw them.
Yeah, let them have what they like, and I'll stick to that, thanks.
Absolutely. No, it's a great tune. We really enjoyed it. Thank you. We always wish we could play more electronic on the show, but we've got to play a lot of dreary singer-songwriters because that's what I like. So there we are. So listen, we'll just give you a final round of questions just so we can fully understand you and where you're coming from. Question from me. Do you have any unrequited love for anyone or anything?
No.
Okay, interesting. No emotional passion in his life.
Makes things complicated.
What's for dinner?
I think it's roast chicken.
What's the best recent gig you've been to?
Recent, probably Orteca. A while ago.
Would you rather be a crystal cat or a diamond dog?
I don't know. Diamond Dog sounds pretty good. No.
Have you ever stormed off in a huff over something a la Chris Martin?
Yeah, over something really trivial.
What was it?
I need to come back. It was about speeding and going over the speed limit by about 2 miles an hour.
Tell us the story.
Well, this was before I drove, so I got quite indignant about people who used to speed. And I had to storm out the room, only to come back and get my keys. About 2 minutes later.
Fantastic. You didn't have to storm out of a speeding car.
No,
exactly.
that was not be a good idea.
That's fantastic. That's exactly what I was hoping for. Brilliant. I think you're opening up a whole new avenue of discussion on this show. Thank you so much, because we had nothing. We really appreciate you getting in touch, Andy. That was a great choice.
All right, sure.
All the best, man. Thank you very much indeed.
All right, take it easy.
Harry, how do people get in touch if they want to make a listener suggestion?
Well, what they can do, Steve, is they can go to the BBC Six Music website, which is at bbc.co.uk /Six Music. They can look for our show, your show, and then find the little link which says request a track or suggest a song or something.
Thanks very much indeed. Well, I appreciate it. So yeah, get in touch if you have a choice that you'd like to hear played on the show.
BBC.
From his first album, of course, that's LCD Sound System, and Daft Punk is playing at my house. It's the Steve Show, BBC Six Music with me, Steve Merchant, my gang here. We've got Harry, we've got Rufus, we've got Sammy. It's going well. I'm enjoying it. We had an excellent caller just now, Andy. As long as I'm enjoying it, then everyone's happy. Yeah, Andy, we got an interesting little subject we got onto there. I asked him whether or not he'd ever have any experiences of storming off in a huff, like Chris Martin earlier in the week. Although I heard that interview, it really wasn't a huff. It was blown out of all proportion. But nevertheless, never let... was it John Ford? If you could choose between the truth and the myth, print the myth.
Might have been William Randolph Hearst.
I think it was John Ford. I think you'll find it was John Ford. I don't want to embarrass myself. Could have been Hearst. So, yes, it's something that occurs often in life. And he was telling us, he stormed off only to have to return seconds later for something he'd forgotten, his keys. Oh, it's terrible. But Rufus, I imagine you're the sort of person who storms off in a huff quite a lot.
Well, I'm a big flouncer, Steve.
Right. Is that a euphemism?
No, it isn't. It's straight down the line. I'm an actor, as regular listeners will know, and actors are encouraged to occasionally flex their muscles and flounce quite a lot. So I've been known to, being dressed in a ridiculous costume of some sort, walk out of a room, struggle with the door handle maybe a little bit and leave. The most recent flounce I had was... I'm currently appearing in a show called Crown Matrimonial about the abdication crisis, playing the Duke of Windsor, and I have a tie-pin which I wear throughout the play with the Prince of Wales logo on it. The last scene in the play happens 9 years later in the story, and they haven't got a different tie-pin for me. I'm wearing the same tie-pin. And Steve, I've been asking for a different tie-pin for the last scene for a week.
They've not given you a new tie-pin?
They haven't given me one.
Well, that sounds like a heck of a flounce coming on.
You should have seen me. Listen, I'm sorry, but it just doesn't make sense for me to come in wearing the same tie-pin. It's like, well, we've got nothing in petty cash for it. Well, find something in petty cash for it, or I won't wear a tie-pin at all. It was
wow,
that
really?
angry. and it was that big and important a subject.
What an unbearable person you must be to work with.
Yeah.
I've never really seen this side of you. You know, friends often don't get to see that side, but this sounds like exactly the kind of actorly, the sort of worst kind of actorly humph that I've ever heard of. And if you ever become a superstar, you're going to be unbearable.
I caught sight of myself in the mirror with. I've also got quite tanned face and back of hands at the moment because there's 2 references in the place of me being brown. I'm a very pale-skinned man, so I've got quite an orange face and hands. And I caught myself in the mirror with a very smart shirt on, trousers undone, and having a bit of a flounce about to type in with little orange hands. And I suddenly thought, come on, Ruth, I'm being a bit silly.
What have you become?
Oh wow, like a little Oompa Loompa.
Yeah.
Causing a rumpus at the factory. I tell you what would be fantastic is if you just made you just had a huge Barney with someone. You're on set in a play. You storm off, but you go through one of those prop doors. That's just a freestanding prop door. So you enter through it, and everyone could just see you as you peer from behind it, and then exit the real stage left. That would be fantastic. I'd love to see that. Have you had a decent flounce?
I had one this week. It wasn't a particularly big one. I had to book a meeting with some quite senior people. It's very difficult finding times in the diary that everyone can turn up. Booked the room. Everyone's planner was free. Booked it up. Everyone agreed. One guy came back, said, "Oh no, sorry." He says, "I'm on holiday." "It's not in your planner. It's not in your planner." Threw down my plastic cup.
Really?
Muttered something unrepeatable and just flounced off to the toilet for a couple of minutes, and then had to come back. A few years ago, went round to a friend's house for what was supposed to be an exciting night in. They started putting on a DVD of Friends. Again, I went and sat in the toilet. Some sort of dispute. The only way I could resolve it was to get away and sit in the toilet. Best one, on holiday, Father's Day, my dad, we were going out for a walk, in Cornwall, and he got a new pair of tracksuit bottoms. They were black with yellow stripes down the side. Me and my mother were mercilessly ribbing him, the 7-year-old me, giving him a load of grief. And he just stormed off. We didn't see him for about 3 hours.
Wow, where had he gone? To the toilet?
He probably had, yeah.
I remember you having a hissy fit once, because I've known Harry a long time. I remember
Only a week goes by without me having one.
Remember we used to drive to... No, this was a legitimate huff, I remember. Remember when we were at the pub once and you were driving, not drinking and driving, just driving. He was driving, he's a designated driver. Yeah. And we were driving up the hill and a beer barrel came rolling down the hill. Do you remember that?
I was furious.
Some drunkard. Some drunkard had taken a couple of empty beer barrels to the top of this hill. Yeah. You were driving up from the pub.
I was driving up. It was a very, very narrow lane, so you couldn't swerve to miss this barrel as it was coming down towards the car. So we started reversing, couldn't get away from it, sort of edged into the wall a little bit, so dented my mum's car, which I wasn't happy with. But I threw a massive strop, got out of the car, and threw my keys.
Threw his car keys as far as he could. Like, this is going to teach them a lesson. This will teach you ne'er-do-wells a lesson.
Blind rage. Up this tiny pitch black, there were no lights. All we had was the light of the moon.
But I remember, what was great was, I remember everyone else in the car and you stormed off in order to get into a rumpus with whoever had thrown the beer barrel, and I stayed behind and went, "I'll look for the keys." Why not? It may be Father's Day, but please, dear God, let's not forget the mums. Can we not forget the mums? I play that for all the mums. Paul Simon, of course, Mother and Child Reunion from 1972. God bless the mums. And so it's a Steve Show, 6 Music, and we were talking about having strops, storming off in a huff. Harry, the master of them. Rufus, as an actor, of course, it's in his very DNA. But what about Northerners? Are they known for a rotten temper?
Well, I was thinking about it and thinking, do you know what? I don't really get in a huff. I think my parents would just probably burst out laughing right there. I've been a worst person for huffing in my family as my dad.
Sure.
When I was 2 years old, we were in California, I think, and we were on a beach, and I took a bite out of an apple and threw it away, just tossed it away. I believe he stopped speaking to me for what has turned into 2 weeks. I don't know if it was a few days and this has just grown as a family myth, but he definitely did stop speaking to me for a good few days.
How much did the apple cost him?
I think it was just the waste and the idea of being wasteful and, being tight. But
I think that's completely legitimate, though.
2 years old?
Completely legitimate. Teach you a lesson.
But if you get put on a naughty step, it's for 2 minutes, not 2 weeks. That's a long time to be, So I think I get it from him.